At this point, you've done a great job of creating value for your customer by solving a specific need. Next, you'll determine how to take a share of that value for your company through your revenue model and pricing. Depending on your business type, there are a few options of revenue models. Most products are sold outright, though some are rented. A few are patented and then licensed to big companies. Many services have an intermediation fee. For example, Uber takes a percentage of the total amount charged to riders, while others charge a subscription fee. Consider Hulu and Netflix. And still others charge clients for data, like Yelp. Phone and mobile applications have opened up some new revenue models, including advertising, freemium, gated features, and microtransactions. As with any of your startup decisions, focus is mandatory at the outset. More mature companies may be able to balance multiple revenue streams in the same way that they can balance multiple customer segments or multiple offerings. But early in your company, you need to focus on one revenue stream. Next, you need to decide how much you're going to charge for your offering. Pricing has the biggest impact on the profitability of a business, and therefore the value of your company. There are several options of pricing methods. Cost-based pricing adds a percentage on top of the costs. Competition-based pricing uses the benchmarks of competitors in the market. Value-based pricing tends to be the preferred method, since it factors in the value you've created for your customer and tends to allow you to have a higher profit. The perceived value of your offering to customers includes your quantified value proposition, plus your marketing and your competitors. This perception varies depending on the customer. Consider what each customer's benchmarks are for pricing and how you can market to your advantages. If you're offering a cost-effective solution to a problem, then your customer will want to pay less than they would be paying for competitors. Likewise, if you're offering a product that's proposed to have higher value than your competitors by being sleeker, more efficient, or more in-depth, then your customer will be willing to pay more for your product because they believe they'll be getting a higher value. In fact, individuals tend to prefer to pay for a more expensive solution over an affordable one because they feel that the expensive option provides higher quality than its alternatives. If an offering that has real advantages to current competitors is priced less, customers will assume that the price means it'll be lower quality. Additionally, when determining how to set your pricing, you'll need to do a few calculations of costs. When considering costs, remember that they should not be your primary consideration, as willingness to pay is more important. But you do need to calculate your overall bill of materials, or how much it costs to produce your offering. It'll likely be more expensive to produce your product in the short term, because in the long term, you'll likely receive price cuts from suppliers. However, you still need to know how much it costs to produce your offering, so you can know your margin at different price levels. When the cost of developing each offering is really low, such as with apps or some services, pricing and income may not be the most important consideration. Companies that fall into this category have two options. One would be to charge a fee to the users of their service now to start getting income. Or they could focus on acquiring users that could be of value to the business in the long term, such as through data, advertising, or an acquisition. The key comes back to focus. Choose which person is your customer, the business or the users, and ensure your strategy is aligned with this decision. You also need to consider how many sales it would take for you to recover the costs at different prices. While lower pricing may seem appealing, it requires a lot of customers to be able to get to the same level of profit. And acquiring all those customers will also cost money. A good example to understand the dynamics of pricing is a Starbucks case study. When Starbucks found it was losing customers in a declining economy, they had to decide how to respond with their pricing, raising, lowering, or keeping the same. By determining the price sensitivity of different customers, Starbucks found that they could actually increase prices in this declining economy because so many of their customers still had a high willingness to pay, and that this allowed them to maximize their profits. The willingness to pay will vary by customer. The innovators and early adopters of your product are the ones who are really excited about it and have the biggest burning need, and therefore the highest willingness to pay. A lot of first-time entrepreneurs are tempted to offer a low price to try to entice early customers, but this ends up diluting the value of the offering. Remember, it's easier to lower prices than to raise them. If you want to provide pricing flexibility, You might consider offering special discounts to some of your early test users, since they offer a special value to you. To decide on your exact pricing, it's important to test it and let the data decide. Many entrepreneurs like to use A/B testing, a method where they can test out customer response to different prices, to figure out what pricing would allow them to have the best customer acquisition and maximize profit. You may also consider surveying your customers on their willingness to pay. Though keep in mind, until they're actually paying for your offering, this data is theoretical and therefore has limited value. Remember these key lessons for today's session. Focus on one revenue model at the start that optimizes for your customer and strategy. Pricing has the biggest impact on the profitability and therefore value of your business. It's easier to lower prices than to raise them, so be sure to reflect your value early on. And finally, conduct tests to find the right pricing for your offering.